So as we start this film, I want you to remember one thing. I have not invested in any cooking items, tools, equipment at all since I've been in Singapore. So basically I'm making everything in one mixing bowl. We don't have wooden spoons or anything. We basically have normal cooking forks and knives and spoons, like normal eating ones I mean. And we don't have blenders or anything like that here. So when it comes to mashing up the Oreo cookies, I'm just basically taking a spoon and whacking the cookies to get cookie crumbs. When it comes to mixing anything, I'm sorry to all those professional bakers out there, but I don't have the tools. So I am just using simple forks and spoons. However, you know, it is better to use a spatula when cleaning out the bowl. You get more of your product out of it, and smooth over your brownies with it. It's just more appropriate having a whisk for certain things, but I don't have those things. So one bowl, cooking fork and spoon, and that's all we got. So here we go. So today we're going to be doing some 3-ingredient baking. We're going to be doing 4 things actually. We're going to make some banana bread, some brownies, some peanut butter cookies, and some Oreo truffles. Now, all of these we are going to make using only 3 ingredients. So we're going to start first with the banana bread. So all you need for banana bread is a box of yellow cake mix, 2 eggs, and 3 to 4 ripe bananas. So first you want to take your mashed up bananas and add the cake mix to it. And after that, you're going to, one at a time, add your 2 eggs. And then you're just going to start mixing all those 3 ingredients together. Now, I'm just using a regular soup spoon because I don't have any fancy tools. I'm just going to keep on mixing, scraping down the sides of your bowl until it's mixed up really well like this. So just a note, when you're making the banana bread, if you want to add a little something extra to it, a 4th ingredient or a 5th, feel free to add some chocolate chips to it or some nuts, walnuts or anything like that. And you can even add a pinch of cinnamon to it to add a little bit more of a flavor profile. Otherwise, just stick to the 3 ingredients. There's enough flavors in the cake mix to make this cake taste great. But feel free to play around with it too and add a couple of your own little twists to the cake mix here. So once your batter's all done, you're just going to pour it into a prepared loaf pan. You should be able to get 2 out of 1 batter, and you're going to fill them halfway and then bake these at 375 for about 40 minutes. Nutella is an item that has milk already and cocoa. So to make brownies, all you need to do is add flour and eggs. So first you're going to take an entire jar of Nutella, and you're going to put that in your bowl, and then you're going to add in a ½ cup of all-purpose flour, and then 2 eggs one at a time, and then you're just going to start mixing. Now you want this to be mixed really well until it looks something like this. You're going to be baking this at 350 for about 20 minutes in the oven. So you're just going to pour it into an 8x8 square pan, and that's it. For the peanut butter cookies, all we need is a 1.25 cups of peanut butter, 1 egg, and ½ cup of sugar. So first you're going to put your peanut butter in a bowl, 1.25 cups, then you're going to add in your sugar. You're going to mix that up a little bit just to make the egg easier to mix in. And then you will add in your 1 egg, and then you're going to start to stir this up really well. You want it to become a bit of a stiff dough like you see here. So now the good thing about the peanut butter cookies, they're actually gluten-free. With only having the peanut butter, the eggs, and the sugar, there's no gluten in there. So if anyone has children who suffer from celiac disease, these are a great quick little treat to make for your kids when they're craving a little homemade goodie. So now that we have our dough, we're just going to take about a tablespoon worth of the dough and start rolling them into balls like this. And then we're going to take it and put it into sugar and coat it well by rolling it in the sugar, just to give it a crystallized look. And then we're going to place it on a cookie sheet that is lined with parchment paper. press down with a fork in 2 directions, and then your cookies will be ready to go into the oven. So we're just finishing off our peanut butter cookies now. You should get about 2 dozen cookies. This is my second batch I'm finishing up now. I, however, only got 23. So I guess I made a couple of them a little too big, but that's okay. You make them as big as you want. You can double the size of them and have 12 cookies, or you make them smaller and you get 24 cookies. In any case, they're delicious and I hope you enjoy. So now just place them in 350 for about 10 minutes and they're done. You need 1 container of cream cheese. You need 36 Oreo cookies. And then you need melted semi-sweet or milk chocolate. I prefer milk chocolate. You can do it with semi-sweet. Normally, I'm a big fan of dark chocolate, but in this case, we're using milk chocolate because the Oreo and the cream cheese mixture is pretty sweet in its own, and the milk chocolate kind of mellows out the sweetness. So you're just going to start by taking the 36 mashed up Oreo cookies and you're going to place them into a bowl. After that, you're going to grab your cream cheese, put that in with it, and then you're just going to start stirring that up. Now it will become a big mushy mess like this. Just find what you want. You're going to grab small tablespoonfuls, and with your fingertips, easier, less messy, just start making balls like this. So to finish our truffles off, we need to first get some water. Ideally, you should have a bain-marie or a double boiler, something along those lines. However, again, we don't have much here, so we are using a pot with about an inch of water in the pot, and then we are going to place our bowl on top of the pot, and that water is going to heat the bowl up, which you don't want to, when melting chocolate, you don't want to use direct heat. Chocolate melts so fast that you want to use indirect heat, like steam from water. We're just going to put those into the bowl. See, they're already starting to melt with very little steam coming up from the water. The chocolate's already melting, so like I say, you don't really need much. Now, right now our truffle balls are actually in the freezer. I put them in there just to get them set a little bit better. Now, when you were forming them the first time, a few minutes ago, you may have noticed that they were a bit spiky, not really smooth. That's okay. When you take them out of the freezer, just take a minute or two to roll them again. They're a little bit more firm at that point, and they will smoothen out and not be all spiky and weird looking. So now our chocolate is good and melted. I'm actually going to try and get it all kind of over to one side to make it easier for dipping. I'm going to use 2 skewers. One I'm going to put inside of our ball. The other I'm going to use to kind of release it once it's been coated. So here we are, just coating our truffle. Very nice, right? Now, because I only had 26 cookies, I wasn't able to do what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to, once I had the truffles coated, I actually wanted to sprinkle them all with a little bit of extra Oreo cookie, just to give them a little bit of a fancier, not fancier, more decorative, I guess is the word I'm looking for, more decorative look. But since I don't have the extra Oreo cookies, they are just going to be the way they are. Now when you first take them off the chocolate, or sorry, when you first take the balls and dip them in the chocolate, there's going to be an excess amount of chocolate on the balls. So on the paper, you may notice that there's a lot of chocolate coming off of them, and that's fine. After you've done coating them all, just take them off the paper they're on and transfer them to a new one, and that way they won't get this kind of solid bottom part on them. Again, if you have the proper tools, there's better ways of doing this. There's actually tools for dipping chocolate balls. There's a little hook looking like thing. However, I unfortunately don't have that. And you just want to keep doing this. If you notice your chocolate's getting stiff, you can just turn the heat back on your water and just bring it to a warmer temperature again, which should make it less stiff. So I don't know if you can see those or not, but those are going to be your truffles. And here's our final product. We have our 2 loaves of banana bread, our chewy Nutella brownies, our Oreo truffles, and our peanut butter cookies. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I had promised last time that I would do a 4-part series on 3 ingredient cooking. So this is the first one, 3 more to come. Thank you all for joining me. I look forward to doing many more with you. I don't know if I'll get all 3 of those following episodes done before my trip. However, if I don't, then we certainly will have an exciting new food adventure, travel adventure video coming very soon, as I have a new trip coming up on May 13th. So thank you everyone, happy baking, and have a great day. Ciao!